Hello, welcome to Infinite Prattle, season number 5. Forgetting what I'm doing already. This new intro's throwing me off a little bit. It's to speed me up and do an intro quicker, so let's hope that works. Anyway, welcome to the season 5. Let's get into it. Hello, and welcome to Infinite Prattle, unscripted, unedited prattle on everything. Hosted by me, Stephen. Listen, like, share, and subscribe, and enjoy the show. Aha! Welcome to season 5. I'm so happy to be back. I hope you are too. Well, you're not back. I hope you're happy that I'm back. Yeah, it's been a while. I have really not done too much since I've been on my little break, even with the podcast, because I'm a lazy bugger. I say lazy bugger. I work hard, and sometimes my brain doesn't function as I would like it to. So I have I've rehashed the intro a little bit for you there. The idea of that is to get to the point quicker, so I can tell you what the intro, tell you what the episode's about, not ramble on for 5 minutes before you've even, heard what it's about, which apparently is good podcasting. So it's probably going to pump me into actually not telling you what the episode's about. So we'll see how that goes. But how the devil are you all? Thank you for returning to listen to Season 5 with me. Today's episode is going to be a little bit about what Season 5 is going to be about, and about something that's very close to my heart that's happening soon. We'll get into that shortly. So welcome back. Season 5 is going to follow the usual unscripted, unedited prattle that you're used to. I'm hoping to be a little bit more structured, a little bit more researchy with some of the things I say, so I'm not giving out duff information. I always caveat it with the fact that I don't research that much, which is, I suppose, is quite bad. It's quite poor of me. But this isn't a public service announcement. This is me. This is someone prattling away in their man cave, in the cave of wonders, to anyone that is willing to listen to me. So, thank you if you are. There's a new feature on the old site as well. So if you go into the description of the episode on whatever platform you're using, you can actually send me a text message directly. So there's a really easy way of giving feedback. So please do that. Feedback's really, really key to letting me know what you want to listen to. Is there anything you want me to talk about? Is there anything you'd like to hear my opinion on? Yeah, and it's a really quick way of getting back to me and alert me of your wishes. You can also obviously comment and like and all that sort of stuff on social medias and stuff, as you heard in the intro. And you can also subscribe as well if you're feeling really, really, really generous. You can subscribe to my Buzzsprout feed. Back to my usual not being able to articulate my words. Anyway, today's episode is going to be a little bit about what I think I'm going to talk about in the future. Hopefully, we're going to have some guests on again this season. Got a couple lined up. Let's hope that fits in the schedule, because it can be quite a road to try and fit in the time and such things. And I'm just going to go through some of the things that I've had in mind. I've been making notes. I'm trying to make notes when something pops into my brain, thinking, would that be a good podcast subject? So far I've got a menagerie of things, really. What sort of superpower would you have if you can have one? Desert Island Discs. My real life heroes. Talking about films. A couple of films I've got listed here that I might talk about. I'm not going to mention them. Be a surprise. Yeah, so just getting back to what I was listening to. Going back to looking at the Extra Speak stuff when the podcast was called Steven Speak. And I was listening to some, or looking at some of the subjects I was talking about, and they've kind of got away from the old music and stuff. So I want to try and bring some of that back in, bring some of the imaginative stuff back in, rather than just too much prattling on about myself or general stuff. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I'm going to try and mix it up a little bit. I don't want to pigeonhole myself too much. Oh, excuse me. My hay fever's been terrible. I was hoping to have everything sorted yesterday. I'm recording this on the day of the launch of the podcast. As usual, I'm not organised. I was hoping to have some stuff sorted. And every time I sit down on my computer to redo the logo or anything like that, just can't get into it. My brain just won't let me, or I end up focusing for so long on one little thing that I don't really get anything done. which is usual for me, to be honest. I'm too meticulous for my own good, and then it stresses me out, and then I just go throw it all to the wall. So you will see some changes coming over the course of the series, because I'm thinking that might be the way to go now. Is just make them changes throughout the series, and then let you know when I've done them, and give me feedback. Let me know what you think. Anyway, we're 5 minutes in, and I've said bugger all about what the thing I want to talk about is, and it's quite a big thing. It's quite a big thing in my life, and I can't believe really that I've never talked about it before. At least I don't think so. I think I've mentioned it in little episodes, but I don't think I've ever talked about it as a subject. I'm pretty sure I haven't talked about it as a subject, and that is my love for the film franchise Aliens, or Alien, whatever you want to say. H.R. Geiger, however you say it. His creation from the 1979 film Alien has really imprinted on me in my life, and I absolutely just love the franchise, love the design, and sorry, something just fell over. Season 5, still not getting any better. Yeah, so be professional, Stephen. Be professional. Be more professional. Season 5 wish list. Yeah, so I'm a massive fan of Aliens, and I have like a little corner of my room dedicated to the franchise. I have a whole bookshelf full of the Alien novelizations, from films down to the extra little stories they release. And obviously, this coming weekend, like a week today in the UK, Alien Romulus gets released, which is the next film in the franchise. It's technically the 7th Alien film, but the 9th overall, if you count the AVP films. I think that's right. If I'm terrible at maths, I'm not including the short ones that Fox did 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah, so Alien Romulus is set in 2142, I believe it is, and that's about 20 years after Alien. So I'm mixing my dates up. So Alien the film in real life was released in 1979. The film was set in 2122. And Alien Romulus, I believe, is actually set in 2142. Not seen the film yet. Trying to not have too many spoilers of it. But I'm hopeful. I am hopeful. I didn't really like what the franchise did with Covenant, and well, not just Covenant. Prometheus was the starter, wasn't it? So Prometheus and Covenant. Went to see Prometheus at the theatre. Was really looking forward to it. Wondered what it was going to be like, and was kind of disappointed. Yeah, I was hoping that the origin of the species would be a little bit more, like, I don't know, mysterious. I don't know. I always find, like, when they do an origin story for anything and they actually tell you something about it, I think the alien would be more scary as if we still don't know where it comes from. And by the way, this is going to have spoilers in, not for Alien Romulus, but for other things. Maybe Alien Romulus, if you've been really, really hiding away from any trailers. I think when a franchise tries to justify itself and go back and explain everything, it can do too much. And see, I was in my head more thinking about like the Weyland-Yutani side of it, their first interaction with the alien as we know it, or an earlier interpretation of the alien, as things do evolve. But the way they went with it, I just thought, like, and Ridley Scott has a big, massive input. Obviously, the first Alien film was one of my favourite films of all time. Aliens is one of my favourite films of all time. Really, really different films, but the attention to detail and the world building, and just character development is brilliant. Like, Alien is one of the films that I've probably seen, I can even tell you, dozens and dozens of times. Same with Aliens, and it's one of them go-to movies that even though I've seen it so many times, it transfixes me still. And there's still bits that, even though if it's on the background, I put films on, probably like most people do. If I'm doing something like making Lego or just doing something that doesn't involve too much attention of the TV, but I can like divide it slightly or listen along. And when you know a film so well, it's easy to do that because you can have that image in your head of what's actually going on screen. But I end up with them films. I don't normally put them on when I'm doing stuff anymore because I end up just sitting watching them because that's just how good they are. That's how much I love them. And the whole Alien universe is just brilliant. If you've never read any of the novels, then do. They expand the universe really, really well. Some more than others. I really recommend the Alex White novels, which is the Cold Forge, and into I can never remember how we say it, into Charybdis. Great films, great books, could be great films. Definitely think the Cold Forge could have made a brilliant TV show, even if it was like a short form. Yeah. So Alien Romulus is the new film that's coming out, and when I heard they were making a new film, as always, I was excited but skeptical because of what's come before. I love Alien. I love Aliens. I like Alien 3. I like Alien Resurrection. And I like the latter two for different reasons. Alien 3 should have been a completely different film, but that's probably a conversation for another day. Alien Resurrection was a money cash cow, I think. Development CGI and other such things, I think they just were like, we could make another one. Alien 3 didn't do so bad, even though it was a bit of a car crash. Yes, and then obviously Ridley Scott came in the early 2000s and I think wanted to like kind of put his stamp on the franchise again. And I believe he actually owns the rights for Alien. Might be mistaken. He has some copyright stuff anyway, combined with Fox, so which is obviously owned by Disney now. But yeah, so Alien Romulus is like set in 2142, which is between the events of Alien and Aliens, which is interesting because a lot of the stuff we've had in the Alien universe hasn't really been spanned between them times. We've had prequels, we've had sequels, and even some of the books. Some of them take place the same year as Aliens. Like Alien 3 is actually the same year as Aliens. Like the Cold Forge novel that I told you about before takes place in 2179 as well, which is the same year as Aliens. River of Pain the same year, which is a very good book. If I'm not mistaken, oh no, Out of the Shadows I think was the one that introduces Ash 2. Anyway, that's alien lore. That's not what I'm talking about today. That's for a later episode when I deep dive into aliens. So yeah, Alien Romulus is coming out, and they've done a massive campaign on this. Disney have, like, it's everywhere at the moment. They've released so many different trailers for it, so many different shorts, slightly little different behind the scenes stuff, and I was getting super excited by the stuff they were releasing. And I was getting even more excited, thinking, oh my god, this is great. And I've never actually seen. It's directed by Fede Alvarez, who's a Uruguayan director, and he's only ever made, I think, like 3 or 4 films, apart from this one, and I haven't seen any of them. He did Don't Breathe, and he did the Evil Dead remake, and I don't really watch remakes that much because they're normally not as good as the first one, but I've heard that is actually pretty good. But he's done some screenplays for things, and he's actually written Alien Romulus, like James Cameron did with Aliens. And the first thing that got me excited and also made me worried at the same time was the fact that Ridley Scott really liked the script and kind of greenlit the whole shebang. Really, I think he gave the nod, which made Disney think, Ridley says it's okay, then it must be good. But that also worried me because obviously how I feel about the Covenant and Prometheus films. Like, they're good films in their own right. Don't get me wrong. I'm not slating them. If you watch them, it is the same old Ridley Scott. They're well directed. It's the origin story that kills me. I have more problems, I think, with Prometheus than I do with Covenant, weirdly enough, and I think a lot of people are the other way around, but I actually prefer Covenant to Prometheus because I think Covenant is more of a standalone story, even though it ties in. Anyway, so he got the green light to do it, and all the interviews I've seen with him so far, it's made me excited. He seems like he knows what he's doing. He's researched. He is a horror director in the main. He likes horror films. He knows how to scare people. I've not seen them other films, but from what I've heard, is they are pretty intense, and he does know how to do these jump scares and such things. And I think that's good because Alien is a horror franchise, and they normally categorize the films in different categories. So Alien was the straight out sci-fi horror. Aliens was the sci-fi action flick. Alien 3 was like the thriller kind of drama kind of side of Alien. An Alien Resurrection, there's a very famous meme that goes around and says these. An Alien Resurrection is classed as like almost the comic relief of the quadrilogy. Doesn't really take itself too serious in some of the ways it's done, but other bits of it's trying to be too serious, which doesn't really float the tone of the film. Yeah, so I'm quite confident that he'll do a good job at directing it. But we had no idea what the story was going to be. Now, more and more have been leaked, and this is where some spoilers may come out. And I'm not even sure these are true, so don't take my word for it, because people have been seeing it, and I've not watched any of the reviews, because I don't want any more leaks to come my way. So please don't send me anything. Please don't send me anything. From this point on, I'm going to go watch the film and just make my own mind up. But I have seen some comments from fans from the AVP universe, AVP Galaxy. Great website if you're into alien films. The Perfect Organism podcast is great as well as the AVP Galaxy podcast. Great if you're into your alien stuff. Loads of cool content. They've been interviewing. They both have had interviews with Fede Alvarez, and they've been talking through the trailers and such things and fan theories and they'd released on their Facebook page some comments from people on X and Facebook that had been to see the film. And no spoilers here, but they were basically saying it's a brilliant film of the year. Some of them were saying that the ending is insane. Like, the ending, like, someone was saying that it starts off building the world and has a dip in the middle, but then the ending is just absolutely bonkers. So I'm interested how it ends. Does it tie in with something? Does it tie in with the new series that's coming out? Is that what leads to the new TV show? Who knows? So it's really intrigued me, that side of it. The one thing that kind of has been leaked and hasn't been really denied, I don't think, is the fact that we may have the return of Big Chap. Now, if any of you people that are listening to this that don't know who Big Chap is the nickname of the alien from the first film. So on set, the alien had the nickname of Big Chap because there was a big bloody guy in it. He's basically a guy in the suit, and he was, I think he was 6'7" or 6'9", something like that. Maybe taller than that, actually. Was he 7'7"? I don't know. He was very, very tall, very slender black guy. Name fails me at the moment. He died a few years ago, which is a tragic thing. And because this costume made him look even bigger, they called him Big Chap, and it just stuck. So the rumor is that from the trailers and such things, that Big Chap is back, and that the Romulus station has like captured him, floating in space, because the end of Alien gets blown out into space. And the theory is that the alien, the first alien that shows up, is Big Chap, and then there are some eggs from somewhere, and maybe the ones that are created in Covenant, because they look like the little samples that David has. Is it David in Covenant? I should know all this. I'm a big fan. Anyway, yeah, so there's a lot of things going on, and there's a lot of possibilities. I was a bit disappointed when they were making that connection with Big Chap and Alien, and how they were going to join like this time period, this 57-year period where we didn't know anything. I was almost a bit disappointed when that's how they were going to connect the dots with like this intermediate story of Big Chap's back. But I'm getting less bothered about it, because I feel like that from what people are saying about the reviews, that doesn't matter, and there's been no spoilers in that sense. I've not been exposing myself, so I'm hopeful that the fact that if Big Chap has returned, it's not going to be a problem to the story, and it's not going to degrade Alien or aliens. And it's nice to see, another thing as well, it's nice to see a young cast. And I think, again, that's Fede Alvarez's kind of choice for design of the film. I think that he likes that whole fresh-faced young cast, because it's easy to, it's basically a slasher movie cast, isn't it? Let's face it. Like a Scream cast kind of thing. And that makes me hate it a little bit. But when you see like young people like trying to better themselves and stuff and getting killed randomly and being fearful, it's probably easier to relate to a younger person rather than an older person. So I think that is the reason for it, and I'm really, really looking forward to it. Really, really looking forward to it now. I'm gonna go see it in IMAX. Hopefully next weekend. And have a jolly good time, and hopefully come out and be impressed and be happy and be hopeful about what the TV series might be. Because that's the other thing, they're making a TV show, and I think it's coming out at the end of this year, maybe beginning of next. And I was hoping it was going to be Earth Hive. There's a I can't remember if it was a comic book or a novelization first. I think it was a novelization, and then it was turned into a book. Again, I should know that. I've read them all. It's been a while though, and basically, Earth Hive is how it sounds. Basically, the alien gets to Earth, and all hell breaks loose. And when they announced the series, that's the one that most Alien fans would like to see in my brain, at least anyway, from what I see on the internet. And they've hinted that it's going to be on Earth, but then I think they've actually said that it's going to be set before Alien, which Earth Hive wasn't. So I'm intrigued again, and a little worried about where that one's going. So we shall see. You know, I'm not going to be too critical of them. You know, they've got to make some choices. Maybe they don't want to rehash old things. Maybe they want to go in their own direction. Maybe take some story choices from that. And I don't know what the legality is, because a lot of them were, I don't know if when they took over Dark Horse Comics, because obviously Disney owned Marvel, and Marvel now produce the comics, but they used to be produced by Dark Horse when Fox had the franchise. So I'm not sure whether it's because it's like a Dark Horse thing, whether they're still allowed to own, are they still allowed to produce things into films? I don't know what the legalities of like paying for that story are, whether they do own all them stories. But yeah, so I'm a little bit more skeptical, I think, about the TV show. And I believe it's in post-production right now, so we shall see. But yeah, so Alien Romulus. Well, you know, what are your thoughts? Are you excited about it? Are you even into aliens? Did you switch off? You won't be here. If you switched off, you won't hear this, will you? So, you know. But yeah, I'm just hoping that it's going to be A-okay, and we can actually, you know, have a good movie, a really, really good alien movie, since Aliens, because we haven't had yet. I think that all the ones from Aliens could have been so much better, and I'm hoping, I've got everything crossed, that Alien Romulus will live up to the hype, and Fede Alvarez will be put on a pedestal for years to come, and hailed as a king of you know, reigniting the franchise. And Disney are really pushing for it. They've released a lot of novels since they've taken over, a lot of comics and a lot of novels. And I have like five on my shelf. I still have to read 6 on my shelf that I still have to read, which is really annoying because they're bringing them out. I don't read. I go through phases where I don't read very much, so they're bringing them out faster than I can actually read them at the moment. So yeah, but if you're big into Aliens, then definitely check out the novelizations. They add something to the story. They add something. There's always hints and world building and little Easter eggs for you to pick up on. And if you're not into Alien, then that's fine. Maybe give it a go. You may like it if you like sci-fi, if you like a bit of horror. Yeah, and I think I'm going to talk about my love of Alien as a separate, complete podcast away from Alien Romulus. And I might actually organise myself and write down what I want to list about things. That didn't make any sense. I know what I mean. Anyway, thank you for joining me. That's episode 1 of Series 5. Series 5. I know. If you've been here from the beginning, thank you so much. Much love to you. And if it's your first time listening, I hope you enjoyed that. My podcasts are varied, and I talk about anything. And again, if you want me to talk about a specific subject, and if you'd even like to be a guest, drop me a line, and we can have a chat. Excellent. Well, I'm going to go now. I'm going to leave you to your day, and I shall speak to you soon. You've been listening to Infinite Prattle! Thanks for listening. If you like this episode, go back and listen to some others. And please continue to listening. Your support is muchly appreciated. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'll speak to you all again soon. Take care.